Hello and welcome to Darius Tabletop, and today I will do a quick review of this beautiful rulebook, Pillage. I've played only 2 games. Well, I played 1 game and I watched one, but I think Pillage is really cool, and so let's share the fun. A bunch of people have already shown the book, and I want to join them just in case you haven't seen it. And let's start. I think this was like 35 euros where I live, and I just want to show you how cool the book is. The rule set, the rule system is written very, very basic, and I like that. We could go here through the generalities, and they start with Wysiwyg, and that you don't. I mean, you just need 2 dice for this game, and all you need is 1 or 2 attack dice and a defense dice, and from that, everything else is structured. And I love how they solve the initiative and charging, and it is all pretty intuitive. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, let's get into it. So the book, you get a beautiful forward. I think I have to carry this like a torch. And a torch is also like the important word, because this book is called Pillage. And yeah, they want you to have fun. They give you a bit of the introduction into the age. We are roughly 800 BC, no, AD, AC, ACDC. You know what I mean. It's the year 700, and it goes up to 1066 to the Battle of Hastings. As you can see here, it has some important battles, and this is where I'm right now. And then it goes into the warrior, and the game is really cool. It's structured like it's Wysiwyg, and the only question is, does your what's your armor class? So if you got a shield, you get some armor. If you got chainmail, you got some armor. If you got both, you got full armor. If you have none of these 2, you can move 8 inches. If you have one of these, you can move 7 inches. And if you have both, you move just 6 inches. A spear, I think, is a 5 to hit. And then later we have to see, then it goes into the rules. It shows beautiful miniatures, mostly Victrix miniatures, but it shows also miniatures from, let me see, right here in the front of the book. I think, and that's the beauty of it, it's like a corporation. Let me focus on it. I think it goes into, it shows footsore miniatures, it shows gripping beast minis, it shows Wargame Atlantic miniatures, and of course the Victrix miniatures. And so it is kind of an open system. You can do whatever you want, although I would say the Victrix miniatures have a pretty good quality to them. But I have to say, like, the Wargames Atlantic Irish are also pretty beautiful. What else? Then contents of the book, setting up the game, key rules, that it is a Wysiwyg game, and it's pretty cool. In our play group, we said shields on the back. Yeah, this one is a Huskar, so a shield on the back is okay, because he can choose to yield or field a sword and a shield, or a Dane axe, so he can switch it up. I have also 1 archer. Wait a second, let me grab one of my miniatures here. I have, for example, where is my archer? These ones are Warlord minis. Where is it? Yeah, it's here. So I got myself some Saxon Thanes. This was what we had available at our local game store. I have to say the miniatures are just okay. They are, I guess, from Wargames Factory. but I love the Peter Dennis artwork, so I kind of bought it. It was just 25 bucks. And the miniatures are, I would say, just okay. But I wanted something to, I wanted something to build. So, for example, this one is an archer, and this one is Wysiwyg. He has a bow, and we will get later into the, but he has also a shield. And would I have modeled this guy? Where is another one? Like you can see, this one has a sword shaft. If I would have put this one here, like this is a bowman just with a bow. Just with a bow, so don't worry, I will clean these ones up. This one has just a bow, but I know that I have one bowman. Well, it's not this one. How many can I pull out? So there's definitely one guy with a bow. I think it's this one. No, it's not this one either. Yeah, I found him. So it's this guy, and he has a sword shaft. So you could say this guy has a chainmail, so he has some armor, 5+ armor save. And then in melee, he could pick up the sword, and I think with the sword, you will hit on 4-ups against the enemy. With the spears on 5-ups, and so forth. But I will go into this. And yeah. And if you're interested in the Warlord Games Thanes, let me know if you want. This one is not fully painted. I'm just in the process of exploring and trying stuff out. They are not that good, but they are not bad either. So then I think this game is also measuring distances. You can't pre-measure. If you are taking out your measurement tape, you're already doing the action. Most things in this game have just one wound and one attack. Mostly with your bowman, if you don't move, you get 2 shots, but we will see more about it later. So there are just, I think, 2 troop types. There's just infantry, cavalry. What else? Then the game turn. You roll a dice. You see who has the initiative. In multiplayer games, and I think if you have the initiative, it says like here, if you have the initiative, you can also choose to give the initiative to the other players. So if you have the higher dice, you can say, okay, you go first and then I go. And the way this works is you have the initiative phase, then one player moves all of his minis, then the other player moves all of his minis, then one guy shoots, then the other guy shoots, then there's the melee phase, then there's the fire phase. And the fire phase is a lot of fun. And what else? The movement phase, as I explained, you have armor. If the guy is fully armored, it goes just 6 inches. If it's some armored, it goes 7 inches. And if the guy has no armor, you can move 8 inches, which is really cool. Your armor will also determine later your armor saves. And then, of course, there's terrain, all of that good stuff. I think you cannot charge over walls, but there is a trait that your warband can charge over walls. If you're moving over an obstacle, you just subtract 2 inches. What else? Then charge distances, make a roll, line of sight. The typical thing, I think. Then you can also, if somebody charges you, you can also flee. On a 1, 2, 3, you can't flee. You are destroyed because you freeze. And on a 4-up, you flee. And it's pretty risky, but I did a fleeing move. I think one of these archers was standing still and shooting at the enemy chieftain. I was fighting some Vikings, and then the Viking chieftain was like here, and he had the initiative, so I moved, he moved, and then he wanted to charge, and I said, I'm gonna flee. I rolled luckily a 4, and then all that happens is I move my full movement in whatever direction I want, and I fled. But would I have failed that one, he would have caught me and I would have been destroyed. So that's pretty cool. And if you're Irish, you can flee. If you take the trait, you can flee on a 3-up. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Then how to make melee legible. Sometimes fights get split up, then special moves, all of that good stuff. What else? Then how to defend. If you're unarmored, you get a 6-up save. If you have some armor, a shield, or a chainmail, you get a 5-up save, armor save. And if you're fully armored, you get a 4-up armor save. And I think Dane axes, like big, hefty axes like this, only if you have a big, beautiful Dane axe or something pretty big, this one does rend or armor penetration 1. All the other weapons don't. And the Normans, they have, instead of bows, they have crossbows, and that one gives also +1 armor penetration. But it's not that common, I think. At least not right now. Then what else? Shooting phase. If you're shooting at someone, you need line of sight. If you're shooting over a hedge or some obstacle, only on a 4-up you shoot above that obstacle or around that obstacle. On a 1 to 3, your shot goes into the obstacle. That obstacle could be some wooden plank, or that obstacle if you're shooting this guy. If you're shooting this guy, or you're trying to shoot at this guy and this guy stands in between, and you're hitting the 1, 2, 3, you will hit this guy. So similar to more time. Then over half distance. I think most bows and crossbows have a 20-inch reach. If you're shooting over half distance, you lose 1 to shoot. And then it also depends what you're shooting at. As you can see here, down here, can I zoom in? Let me zoom in. So a sling can shoot 15 inches, but hits only on 6s. Let's say you're over half range, then you're starting to hitting on 7s. A 7 is a 6 followed by a 4. An 8 is a 6 followed by a 5. And a 9 is a 6 followed by a 6, which is not very likely. But a javelin can go 6 inches, but over half range you lose 1. And then if you're shooting an unarmored guy, you're hitting that guy on a 5, otherwise on a 5. And maybe over half distance or over 3 inches only on 6s. A bow on a 4-up, on a 5-up. And as you're shooting with a crossbow, like they are really good. They hit better, and then they also have armor penetration 1. So crossbows inflicts a 1 penalty. I don't know if this is already counted in. I have to ask my play group. And then the defense against this is a 6-up, a 5-up, a 4-up. Yeah. So then you can do volley fire. Let me zoom out again. Some special rules. Then the melee phase, charges, Dane axes strike last, but if you charge with a big beautiful axe, you will strike simultaneously. Every time you charge in, you get a +1 to hit. So usually I guess you're hitting on 4s, 5s or 6s, but if you charge in with a Dane axe, you would hit on a 3. But now you're hitting on 2s, so that's pretty strong. And here you can see the table, like on what things you're hitting, and yeah, so it's very balanced. It's really very cool. And then here are the advanced rules and spears. If you have a spear, you can support another guy, which means if this guy is fighting in melee with this guy, the spear guy supports this guy. You have to touch base to base, and this guy gets -1 to hit. I think that's really strong. You can raise a shield, then you get a better defense, and you can do a bunch of stuff, but not too much, so it doesn't get too complex. Then there's cavalry. Of course, cavalry is fast. Once it charges in, I think you get a lower defense. And then there is the Firephase. And in the Firephase, you can choose to burn down buildings. And it's really good because then everything within 2 inches of that burning thing, I think, needs to take a test. And on a 5 up, that model is destroyed. Yeah, I think, and also the fire can spread, I think, on a 6 up. If you have a torch, you can torch your building on a 4 up. If you don't have it, on a 6 up, and I think if you're standing still on that spot, it gets better every round. So last game I tried to burn down a building on a 4 up. I had a torch. So let's continue. So spreading fire is pretty good, and you can take fire damage. What else? There is morale. I think it's pretty simple. Morale checks are made of the term. I think if you lose your chieftain or more of 50%, yeah, we should have tested for morale. I forgot that. But yeah, if chieftain is gone or you lose more or more than 50%, you have to check. On a 1, you rout. On a 2 to 6, you stay. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty basic, but it gives you the freedom to, yeah, just enjoy the game with good friends. You can loot. What else? You can transport the loot. You can loot adults, children, sheep, horses, donkeys, chickens, and then rules for buildings. We didn't enter buildings right now. And then there's special characters, chieftains, berserkers. They can eat mushrooms and have then 1 attack more. They have also 2 life points, but they could also be confused on a 1 or be bloodthirsty on a 6 and maybe attack your own guys. Then you have Huskarls. They give you a free movement. Then there's the supply wagon banners. Banners give you once to reroll, but somebody pointed out that for 60 points you can pick up a trait that lets you the warlord pick up a relic, and that relic can then be used to reroll failed hits. That's really good. Then you get a war horn. This guy gives your warband +2 in a 6-inch bubble. And then you can move faster. So Berkan uses it all the time with his Vikings. I haven't used it yet, but it's really strong. And also for different factions, they cost different points. And what else? There are warhounds. The Irish can bring some hounds. Come on. I haven't read this section yet, but I'm eager to buy some Irish because I want to field warhounds. Then there's the Shieldwall tactics. You could put up a Shieldwall. Berkan did it in the last game, and I think it improved. The armor saves. It went from a 4 up to a 3 up, so it was really tough to get in. Then there are ships and naval battles, weather conditions, and then the factions, talents. Some really cool talents, and it's not too much. Like, you can give your warlord 1 to 2 talents. Berkan in the last game didn't bring 1. I brought 2, so I think the costs are pretty cool. The abilities are pretty cool, and then these are factions. You get the Viking, the Anglo-Saxons, the Normans, the Irish, the Scots. Some of these, like the Carolingian Franks, they don't have any special stuff. They're pretty vanilla, but some of their costs are really low. So with these guys, you can bring a banner, no problem. And yeah, so it is really up to you to make something cool and to try. And I think Victrix also announced that they want to bring out maybe additions, so add-ons, and here it's like scenarios, pitched battle, some pretty cool stuff. And what I liked and what made me buy this book is, I think, the collecting part, because like here they go into how to base the mini, how to, like, they show you, look, you could bring or take a Warlord base or a Renedra, or you could take maybe a GW base, or you could take an MDF base, like I took for these guys, MDF bases, and I also put under these bases a magnetic sheet. And what else? How to paint the minis. Like, I love this. This is really good stuff. Not that I need it, but I love that it's here. And yeah, just how to build your own stuff. This is how GW used to be. And I think this is very, very good hobby stuff, which I love and I like and I will support. And I love it. What more can I say? So would I recommend to buy the book? Definitely, yeah, it's a good book. If you're thinking of getting it hardcover, where I live, it's like 35 to 40 euros. The Victrix Warband, it's like 40 to 45 euros. It comes without decals, so you need to invest a bit of money into decals. Or you could maybe skip the decals and maybe freehand some stuff. This is just a test. I'm not yet there. But the decals definitely look amazing. For these guys, I wanted to try a bit of freehand and some basic stuff. But yeah, I'm not yet ready. And of course, you can also buy stuff from Gripping Beast, stuff from Victrix, Footsore miniatures. You could get whatever you can see. You could 3D print your warband, whatever you want. So I think it's a good book. It's a good rule set. It's a fun game. And I think it's a winner. So we see us in the next video.